player on the coin, which is a scary moment for any player that's going up against it. The coin just gives it so much explosive potential, like you said, Doa, with being able to drop minions early. But that's assuming DeathStar gets good draws after this mulligan phase.
That's true. We saw already one game of an very explosive Undertaker start, and we even just recently saw, of course, Shaman versus Zoo. This is a bit of a repeat, and of course, the Zoo player really needs to have an aggressive start and hope that his opponent doesn't have any too crazy removal.
Pretty decent draw, though. I mean, he gets into a pretty good coined out start. He can go, oh, never mind. Way better now. Yeah, Undertaker, coin out that Leper Gnome ASAP. And even if you lose something, again, you're playing against Shaman. You expect to lose something here, but it's still a strong start regardless.
This will prompt it to get lightning bolted right away, but what it does mean is that those Harvest Golems will not be able to come out at the time when he wants them to start fighting for board control.
If I'm playing Zoo and I see a Shaman Lightning Bolt one of my guys on their first turn, I'm like, well, great. You know, that slows you down as much as it gets rid of one of my minions. So I actually think that's better for Zoo in a lot of cases. If Lightning Bolt is used, it's a little bit less good if it gets Rock Biter. Then you're like, all right, well, it's a little bit of damage, but he's not slowed down. But I bet DeathStarV3 is pretty happy to see that.
Well, I think he'd be super happy if it didn't happen at all. The
Well,
Undertaker,
he'd be happier if nothing happened. Yes,
sure,
that's true, yeah.
But the second best option would be to overload and disrupt your opponent's turn for sure.
It means just a hero power on turn 3, no Harvest Golem, and now it's sort of
rolls a taunt
free
totem.
turn. No, it rolls a taunt. It might as well be a taunt totem.
Oh, yeah. No Zoo player ever wants to leave up a spell power totem. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, it's a bit too risky, and he still gets 1 damage to face, which isn't bad. I mean, again, these Zoo decks right now, they start a little bit slower than what we remember from maybe, pre-Nax, of course.
Oh, nice. Earthshock is a nice one.
That's a good draw right there.
So his opponent's damage on board is only 4. He's going to have to decide if he wants to Earthshock the Leper Gnome and remove the immediate damage, or get rid of the threat of that egg activating later on.
That is a good question. I think the egg is probably a little bit better of a threat. However, that Leper Gnome, that Leper Gnome's still building up a lot of damage, though. It's already going to go like at least 6 for 1, in terms of damage per mana.
Yep, no doubt the Leper Gnome is still scary, and it wasn't able to be dealt with early. The Undertaker was the priority,
right.
So now the damage is just going to start pouring in.
Yeah, it's so tough. I mean, again, the Lightning's Bolt, you have to use it, no doubt, but it does slow you down quite a bit.
It really does. This turn, he has more than one option. He has 2 different guys that draw a card when they come into play. Of course, if you were to play one, it would be the Azure Drake, but he decides he wants to start fighting for board control right now.
Yeah, I totally agree with this, man. I mean, you need to get rid of some of this stuff on the board, and yeah, you're taking more damage. There's another 4 coming in from the Leper Gnome. He's already lower than 20, but at least he's got some way to control the board out there right now.
He does, and he did it in a way where he didn't want the Haunted Creeper to be the one finishing off.
Oh, wow. That is a sick silence right there.
Silence is really good. It's going to let it get taken out. The Harvest Golem, killing the not as happy Harvest Golem.
No, it's not been a good harvest this season.
No.
Firebat's going to need a dig.
And there's the Gnomish Inventor as well, of course, grabbing that draw. And, again, he has to take out these minions with Doomhammer, but every time he does it, he takes more and more damage. He's down to 12.
Oh!
Well,
this is a 50-50 to win the game.
Yeah, no kidding.
Or 50-50 to have it become a complete disaster, and you just stuck with a loot hoarder.
Your opponent's so low.
I mean, he's using Doomhammer to trade anyways, so most likely you can whittle him down to the point where Doomguard does become finished.
Oh no. That is not what you want to see drawn. I suppose you got to go for it, but he's obligated now.
Oh, well, that's okay.
At least he didn't lose Doomguard.
Not as bad as it could be, yeah.
He gets to take at least another 50-50 next turn,
yep.
if not better. Earthshock is a nice one. It does actually deal with the rest of that Harvest Golem entirely, leaving only 1 damage on his opponent's board. That is what you want to see, except that you're at 9 life.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, the thing is any sort of stabilization right now in the game comes at a price. I mean, it's maybe already too late this game.
Well, hold on. He still has the... Oh, I thought he was going to go for a totem play with this Harvest Golem, but BGH isn't going to be getting any more value anyways. Now, does Firebat use this opportunity to start pushing in damage? He does, but keep in mind, there is this coin flip.
It could be the moment of truth. It's more than a coin flip. He gets to life tap and get himself 2/3.
You're right.
It's true.
Life tap for it.
Oh, it's going to be a guarantee.
That's pretty good,
Doomguard
man.
number 2.
Doomguard comes out, and that is it. First game. We've seen 4 games in a row now won by Zoo.
Brutal efficiency of Zoo, once again, able to overrun Shaman. And I feel like as much as we've seen Shaman able to take some games off of this very aggressive deck, for the most part, Zoo's been able to get the better part of it.
Yeah, so definitely the better part of it. And DeathStarV3 off to a 1-0 lead. And
interesting that he mulligans away his Unleash the Hounds. That is oftentimes one of the swing cards in this matchup, but he knows how important the early curve is and having that
good start.
Early minions to start fighting, and hopefully he draws into the Unleash later.
Sure. The Knife Juggler, also a card that Firebat was mentioning yesterday as a very powerful card that people often ignored in Hunter.
And I mean, it's nice to get that web spinner out there right away. And his opponent, though, has such a strong start. You know, two health minions on turn 1 is really difficult for any deck to deal with.
It really is. Unfortunately, the Leper Gnome coming a turn late in this case.
Yeah.
The Leper Gnome, of course, would have been able to keep at least one of those minions honest. But he does have the Mad Scientist, which is definitely the type of card you want to have in your hand early as a hunter.
Into the bow, Mad Scientist is a great card to have. And Deathstar is why he was ignoring it. Okay.
Yeah, I think you ignore it as long as you can, you know. And wow, he got crushed.
All right.
That's
well,
great.
He's got a turn 9 win condition.
He sure does. Usually a little bit too slow for this type of matchup,
Yeah,
but
I'd say so.
A really, really powerful minion, though. So
this is a really good turn for him, though. Takes out the Flame Imp, takes out the Undertaker, and gets the trap on top of all that.
It is a freezing trap. He may have preferred otherwise.
Well,
and
yeah, you're right.
2 pair, 2 eggs. Oh, and Soulfire. All these cards and discard cards.
Well, I mean, you can't deny that Zoo is really slowed down. I mean, if you look at DeathStarV3's hand, he doesn't have a way to do damage for like a couple turns, actually, now.
He's given him initiative on the board.
Yeah.
This really is kind of a scary spot to be in. Now your opponent has the board. They have a bow ready to kill stuff. And you've got a hand that just discards your hand.
Wow. You know, you may actually have to play one of these Doomguards really quick here and discard some stuff next turn.
I think you got Soulfire first, though. To take out his Knife Juggler is too much of a threat.
I agree. I mean, you might as well do it first. I don't think it's as big of a priority to drop an egg. You've got 2 of them, so even if you discard 1, you can still put it down.
He's hoping he discards the Haunted Creeper, probably.
Yeah,
but
I'd say
discarding an egg would be okay, too. I think he's figuring he wants a better chance to discard the Creeper if he plays the egg first. But he'd rather discard an egg than a Doomguard, so that does happen. Oh, and he decides he's going to play the Creeper. So the Creeper does match up well with the Leper Gnome.
Yeah. With what's on the board, that's perfectly fine. There's Unleash. That's a nice kind of comfort card to have in your hand right now. You're not going to be able to use it right away, but it's good to have for later.
If he was able to make it all the way up to that Savannah High Main with the initiative still, it would have been really great. But he actually doesn't have he's not in a great position here. He could attack, play the Unleash just to clear it out, but it seems kind of like a waste.
Yeah, I
2 full cards just for the Creeper, so he's going to hold on to it.
Yeah, but I mean, he's done a lot of damage to this Zoolock already, too. Knife Juggler possibly coming in. I'd say definitely coming in. And we'll see. He's got a couple chances to take out this Leper Gnome. Oh, he wants it all to go to face. Look at that.
Okay. Well, this does line it up for big Unleash.
I know. I'm really surprised he did this, actually. I mean, he's playing against Hunter. Like, Unleash is a big threat, and he is potentially giving his opponent a big way to clear the board.
Or, let's see, 4. Yeah, I was thinking if there's a way he can start pressuring to set up a potential kill.
Well, I mean, if
because his opponent is on 14 HP.
I'm trying to remember if he runs like Timberwolf or something, because if he did, you know, that would be exactly what you'd be looking at too. But let's see. So he's got 3 + 5, 8 damage, +5, 13 plus.
That's lethal.
Oh, this is lethal.
5 + 3 is 8.
No,
8
no,
+ 3 is 13. He's
it's
one
not
short.
lethal, but he gets to take him down to just hero power next turn.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, like, if he's just going to be aggressive.
Yeah.
And the kill command sets him up to be in that position. Wow,
Certainly
he's going to
does.
put the Zoo player to kill him on the next turn.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. There has to be 22 damage coming out of his opponent, like, right now. And I don't think there's a way to do that, not with just a hand with 2 Doomguards.
He's going to just kill off a 1/1. He might
Makes
as
sense.
well. And he knows that the
DeathStar
writing
doesn't
is
wanna
on
see
the
it.
wall.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That is it. We have a tie series. Awesome. Firebat taking game 2, tying it up versus DeathStarV3. Hunter deck doing work.
Hunter deck quite strong, and Firebat was right to be confident in it, playing against Zoo. it worked out in this case pretty easily. The Zoo deck faltered a little bit, and all it really had early on was a bunch of eggs and stuff that didn't pressure well enough.
We'll see if the light brings victory or not. Don't get ahead of yourself, Anduin.
Well, that is an ugly hand.
Yeah, he's going to have to mulligan all that. Okay, bow kept for Firebat. And all right, well,
much better.
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
Turn 1 Cleric's pretty decent against whatever Hunter can do.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Nice hand, though, early on. I actually really like seeing those 2 web spinners. Even though it doesn't trade nicely with the Northshire Cleric at all, you know, might risk getting your opponent some draws. It's going to be possibly some bigger beasts coming later. Then again, it could be Captain's Parrot and Angry Chicken, too.
Do you really coin Snake Trap?
I was just going to ask that.
That's not a bad plan.
He's decided against it. He's not even going to play the web spinner yet.
So. The light shall burn you.
All right, well, he doesn't light shall burn you, but he does throw out the heal, so...
I'm not
sure a little bit of a misplay. A little bit of
you have to
work
do
on that
the
on ladder.
emote after you do the heal.
Well, turn 3 is going to be explosive. Not an explosive trap, but going to be very, very explosive for the Hunter player. I guess there will be a pretty good fight against it with that Dark Cultist coming out for the Priest. Really, really powerful minion, and even the bow can't take care of it.
Pretty decent curve coming in for DeathStarV3 at this point. He's got Akanai Soul Priest, he's got Sludge Belcher, Cabal, all that good stuff coming. Ooh, but this Undertaker could get pretty big pretty fast.
He's thinking about possibly not playing the Undertaker.
Yeah.
He has the option, if he wants to, of playing something like Web Spinner plus Snake Trap. That would give his bow another charge. It would also build his board in the immediate. Either way, it's a very powerful play, and this will still make the Undertaker a little bit too big to kill immediately.
Yep. It'll build it a little bit beyond that Dark Cultist ability to take it down. 4 health instead of 3, of course.
Oh, wow.
That's not bad.
That is an excellent draw.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And of course, I mean, even though you can't use it right away, no circulating healing or anything, it is a 3/5 body on the board, which is really vital at this point versus this Hunter deck.
It really is. And whenever that thing threatens to survive a turn, it just takes out every minion ever.
Well, you don't want to give it the death rattle from the Dark Cultist either, too.
No, you definitely don't.
You don't want to give it that 3 health.
He doesn't want to be using something like Kill Command so early on a Priest minion.
Yeah.
It makes it so much harder to push through and actually kill the Priest later, but he probably feels like he doesn't have a choice. It does come down on the Akanai Soul Priest, and the minions are just going to attack him.
Okay. Oh, and he's going to use the final charge from his bow, really?
He's got second bow.
I suppose he did draw on the second bow, yeah. Missed that.
And I think it's important to get these minions out early because it's getting closer to turn 6. Where you know Cabal Shadow Priest will be a problem, so most likely we'll see a cash-in value very soon to see what these web spinners bring. King Crush wasn't a factor last game.
No, I guess not.
But if he gets King Crush now, I expect to see some dino action.
How good does it feel, though, to play a Sludge Belcher the turn after you've seen a kill command used? You're like, all right, it's going to be tough for them to get rid of it now. Yeah, it's a good beast, actually. Let's get with the second one.
Savannah High, man.
Nexna, all right.
Oh my god, that's going to be the crazy Cabal Shadow Priest value.
Yeah, seriously.
What?
Seriously. Oh boy, this could get really messy really fast. That's a good point.
That is a bad roll.
That's kind of crazy.
He's going to have to play that really late in the game.
Yeah.
Well, his opponent might be baited into using the Cabal Shadow Priest right now. I guess not. After the attack, I guess it's a little bit less likely.
Sure.
But
I don't think I'd steal.
I don't think you would.
Yeah, Silenced Undertaker like that.
Now he knows it's Snake Trap, by the way, because he was testing for it.
Yep. Oh, is he actually going to do this?
He does actually do this. All right, this is a big deal. This means that the Nexna could actually get a lot of work done this game.
That is so big right there that he used it right away. And I mean, it is on curve, but he's going to regret that when he sees the big spider from Nax drop on the board.
I just realized that not going to applicable now, but you can actually use Shadow Madness on my Nexna and kill whatever big minion. Like, he's a high main now.
Yeah, that's true.
Shadow Madness my Nexna and kill his high main. What?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. There's a lot of crazy tricks you can do with that card.
Yeah. Cabal Shadow Priest number 2 right now.
Yep.
Let's see it.
Firebat's like, oh, great. Yeah. That would have been nice to take. Yeah, I'm surprised. You know, I mean, he had an option to just play the Soul Priest and then Hero Power the 1/1 as well, too, to get rid of it. But maybe he'd being a little bit greedy with that Shadow Priest.
Well, he probably wanted to advance his board as much as possible. Keeping his healing active right now is not actually that big a deal. He is at 26.
Yeah.
He certainly could have gone with the Akanai Soul Priest. Now he's thinking about how he best wants to do this. He's just going to play the Dark Cultist and sort of ignore Mix Up for now.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that one taunt out, and even though that can get cleared by the trap, might as well just do a little bit more damage to face. Oh, goody. All right, well, Mad Scientist to drop. Yeah,
Kodo.
If it hits the taunt, that's a big deal. And
Oh,
it does.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Yeah, he's able to take out the Cabal Shadow Priest, no problem right now. That actually was a really good series of events.
And now with the Mad Scientist, he may actually be able to get almost complete control of the board. If he can follow that up with something like any really large minion, he absolutely could outpressure this Priest. Oh, but the board clearing power.
Pyromancer's Smite is a pretty strong combo.
Well, you can use Shadow Madness in this area also.
That was really smart too, to activate that Snake Trap, and like you said, Frodan, Shadow Madness, not a bad choice either.
Yep. And Wild Pyro Shadow Madness is going to clear out almost everything.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Or everything.
What if it activates a trap and it bounces it back in his hand, and this becomes Freezing Trap? Oh, it gets Manexna into his hand now. What? No board clear.
Well, I mean, the Kodo, or the actually Cleft Hoof, but it's called a Kodo, stays out, but he does get Mexen into his hand after all.
Flavor, please.
Like, all right.
What happened? It's like he thought stole my Exna from a non-existent deck.
Yeah. That's not something you see every day. All right, so the Stampeding Kodo's still out there.
Also, silver lining is that there is a lot of charges on the bow for the Hunter, but there's not much health remaining.
Oh, that's actually a nice one to draw into. I mean, it's not something that you can attack with right away, but it's pretty sick to have that 4/4 on the board. I mean, against a Priest, that's the stats you want, you know?
And I wonder if he'll, he just decides to use his Hero Power. He knows at this point that it's basically a race. Hero Power is 2 damage a turn. Playing the Creeper is only going to deal 1 damage next turn.
All right, so what do you do here? Sylvanas, well, wouldn't be a bad play. And he can't really...
His best play.
Yeah, he can't really kill anything with Holy Smite or anything like that, so you might as well just heal up again.
Well, he had the opportunity to snipe using the the Akanai, but Akanai is also a good way to keep in your back pocket for when you eventually pick up Circle of Healing. So I think playing the Sylvanas does outweigh it, but there's still a lot of damage coming in. It's surprising. Just a couple turns ago, Priest was sitting on high 20s, and now he's down to 13.
King Crush, where are you now?
I know, right? This is the game he needed King Crush instead.
I think a big Circle of Healing would be absolutely immaculate. He gets it!
That is exactly what he needs. He can pretty much clear the board, and although it does leave Sylvanas, fairly vulnerable to the web spinner, it's okay. You just want to get through and get that damage done.
Oh, surprise!
We
forgot about the lethal because the Holy Smite.
Yep. All right, there you go. And Priest takes it. Closer than you might expect, but a very good game. Very cool.
Some very, very powerful combinations of cards from the Priest.
Yeah, that was kind of a crazy game, but DeathStarV3 taking the lead again, bringing it 2-1 in the series.
Yep, he's on his second deck. He's kind of on his DeathStarV2 right now.
That's right.
The first one got blown up, but number 2 is holding strong.
The tricky thing is that you remember, if you mulligan these, you can't draw them back right away. So yeah, I'd say this is reasonable. Keeping one Shadow Madness, such a helpful card in this matchup.
Oh, he gets Pyromancer and he's on the coin. That's also a great thing for Priest. If he just pairs together the one card, say Silence or a Holy Smite, he is going to be in prime position.
All right, well, Voidwalker turn 1.
Oh.
Well.
That is bad news for the Zoo player.
Yeah, it's going to be useful later. Well, such as next turn, probably. Now seeing that Knife Juggler come down.
He may just choose to smite it here and not save it for the Pyro. He has that option. Even with the second Pyro now, he could just play out a Pyro if he wants as well and try to get his opponent to trade into it.
Yeah, I mean, should be reasonably sure that there's no Mortal Coil, so it's not really a danger to have a 3-1 sitting on the board. And I mean, if it trades with the Voidwalker, you're happy with that. So I actually don't think that's too bad. I mean, he's still got a turn 3 play with the Dark Cultist, but he's just going to heal himself. Wow. Is this a little bit too greedy? What do you think?
I don't think it's too greedy. He has both of the Pyros in his hand. He knows that he's going to have access to a lot of AE clear. He's only taking 4 to 5 damage this upcoming turn. So it's a little scary, but he knows he needs to get good use out of that Pyro, out of that Holy Smite.
Another important card picked up. Circle Feeling with the Akanai Soul Priest. is going to be a devastating combination if he's able to get them in tandem.
He actually has the opportunity to almost completely clear right now if you wanted to.
Yep.
And instead, he's still going to. He's just going to do it another way.
Kill the Pyromancer. Oh, man. That's why you smite the knife juggler.
Not quite what was planned.
Yeah, that does not work out at all.
Just throwing my knives, man.
You never know where those knives are going.
Oh, man. Now these are going to get to this is a 4-tech knife juggler.
This is about as disastrous as it can get, really, for DeathStarV3. Ooh, that's rough. He needs to draw into an Aknai Soul Priest at this point.
Well, interestingly enough, because he did this, he actually needed to taunt the damage golem so that way it wouldn't attack directly into the knife juggler.
Well, he's got Shadow Madness,
doesn't really matter.
That wouldn't be a bad play this turn. I mean, he could get rid of both taunts, actually, with that. Sure. Yeah, Shadow Madness, Void Walker, and run it into the knife juggler.
Well, the consequence is about the same, actually.
Yeah.
The more I think about it.
And so now a couple minions still left on the board, and so the advantage still going to Firebat a little bit here.
Very risky Soulfire, but
oh no! He discards the Doomguard. Oh, it's always so tough to make that choice, and
I think it was right.
Yes. Yeah, that was 33%
you really
chance
can't argue with it. Yeah,
and being able to land that would have been game-ending potentially.
Oh, definitely. His opponent's already down to 12. He's still in a great spot for sure, but now he just really has to worry about that Aknai Soul Priest getting drawn, and it doesn't get drawn yet. You know, there's also the Holy Fire too, which is a really expensive spell, but it is also 5 life gained, and you pretty much kill anything on the board with it. So it's a little bit of a sustain. You know, you're probably going to go with the Dark Call or the Cabal Shadow Priest first, but it's interesting. We'll see what he can do here.
Well, it looks like he's going to try and just AE the board for 2 and then play a Dark Cultist. But he still will be facing down a lot of damage. There will be a lot of draws out of Firebat's deck that he could get to even finish the game off just about immediately.
He has 2 damage in hand. He's going to be sitting at 8 health, so 2 more damage is
Dark
what
Iron
Firebat
Dwarf,
needs to end this
another
game.
Abusive Sergeant.
A lot of stuff.
Not a Nubian Egg.
He can still go for it.
Flame him.
He has so much he can draw into it, but either way, he's going to get himself very, very close to the win this turn, kind of regardless of what happens. But discarding that Doomguard, if this board gets cleared, yeah, I think you do have to play the egg. It's still a little bit risky.
Oh boy! I wonder if he'll trade or not trade. Okay, he's just going to put his opponent as low as possible.
He is going for it, and the thing is that there's a lot of stuff out right now. Holy Fire. I guess you have to cast it, don't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're at 2 health.
Goes on the Flame Imp, of course. I mean, that's the highest damage, and you can, trade fairly well with this Dark Cultist.
Now the woods, though. Soulfire Doomguard off the top.
Yep.
Defender Vargas is 2 damage.
It's not enough. And Void Terror, not going to do it either.
But it does activate. Let's see. It does activate the egg, but then that opens up the second Holy Fire, but it's still just a dance, because then there's still pressure on the board.
I think he has to keep up the dance, though. I think he should play the Void Terror and keep that dance going.
Oh, really? Okay.
Do you kill off this Dark Cultist?
That is the real question, and that is the one that I'm not sure what the correct answer is. I hope Firebat knows for his sake, because this is his tournament life on the line.
If so, are you using the 1/1s or the 2/1?
I would probably still use just the 2/1.
Oh, he's getting a 4-attack minion with the Void Terror. I like it.
Yep, this actually does help him avoid a lot of stuff. Obviously, he's not worried about Shadow Word Death or Shadow Word Pain at this point. The one thing he still has to be a little bit worried about maybe is the Aknai Circle of Healing. However, it looks like he's pretty much guaranteed. Yeah, you have to trade with that play. Otherwise, that Void Walker would still have a good chance of dying.
Oh, there's a circle, but no Aknai.
Right. So he's going to survive, at least from what we see, on 1 more turn. But if he picks up Aknai next turn, he's still back in it.
Still looking for that Soulfire. Still looking for that other Doomguard.
Void Walker. Nope.
So elusive at this point. Now,
I know.
You have to be mindful, because if you taunt up, say, this Haunted Creeper, Cabal Shadow Priest all of a sudden makes the Priest have a very resilient board.
Yeah, I would be really worried about Cabal Shadow Priest at this point if I were Firebat.
Excellent.
Yep, I think he's going to just kind of wait for that. That's a smart move. Still puts him in a chance to win next turn. We've seen a lot of that.
Interesting that he doesn't take the taunt. Just heals himself back up to 7.
That's a good point,
But
too.
That doesn't mean it because the Defender
makes
of
him
Argus.
dead. He's got Defender of Argus. That's 2 more damage. Firebat's still alive.
There it
that's
is.
it. He's going to take this game. Lotheb the draw, but if he counts it up, it should be enough. He's life tapping again. Let's see.
He's got it.
I was going to say, yeah, just kind of playing a few games here, and that should be enough damage right there. More than enough. Well played from DeathStarV3, and our series is all tied up 2-2.
You can see the relief. Firebat, very emotional moment for him.
Oh, yeah.
It is literally down to the wire for both of these players. DeathStar wants it too. He couldn't find a way to close it out. He had Circle of Healing twice in that game, but no Akanai.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, and from Firebat's perspective too, with that Warlock play, you're so close, and it takes you like 3 or 4. All right, wow, look at that starting hand for Firebat. Double Flame Imp is one of the best things you can coin out in this early matchup. He's got the Undertaker too, which he could draw into some really good stuff with.
It's Undertaker, but with no way to follow up on it.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, I think you're gonna, well, let's see. You could do both Flame Imps. You could do a Flame Imp and a Leper Gnome as well too. He's got a lot of good coin starts here.
This
could
is
go
a tough
Undertaker,
choice.
Leper Gnome as well too.
He's deciding which way he wants to do it. He's going to
like
play
this.
both of the Flame Imps. I like it too.
Yeah, it's bold.
Well, it exhausts removal prior to the Undertaker, which has more long game potential.
Yeah, that is true. It does slow down the Undertaker a little bit.
And this again, it again prompts a turn 2 Lightning Bolt that will stop a Harvest Golem from being played the next turn.
Yeah, it's a big thing here, and he still gets a pretty good start with this Undertaker too. And I mean, when you play 2 Flame Imps like that, you know one of them is going to be removed if they've got a Lightning Bolt in their hand, and so that really makes the Undertaker a little bit safer now. Oh, except for the Earth Shock. That is true. Thinking maybe use on Leper Gnome, but
what's amusing about the Earth Shock is that there's nothing to follow up on this Undertaker anyways.
Yeah.
So it just continues as planned. In fact,
Oh, well.
he can make a slightly bigger Void Terror because of it.
Yeah, I'd be worried about using the Void Terror now because you're going into a turn where Hex would be a pretty tempting target if you do use the Void Terror. So
It looks like he's
I think
committing
he's
to
going
playing
to,
the Void
though.
Terror.
Yeah, I guess so.
I like the Void Terror. I think it gets use out of your Undertaker, which you don't have normal otherwise, other than Defender of Argus buffing. I think it's okay if they use Hex, because you're still pushing out damage every single turn.
Well, this is definitely the best way to do it. If you're going to play the Void Terror, you definitely don't touch that Flame Imp. You do this way, get the 4/4, and then the Hex is not a big issue.
That's very bad draw. Imagine if that was a Doomhammer.
Yeah, that would have been a little bit more
Then
helpful.
you'd still be crying because you can't deal with this board. And the reason why you're okay with Hex, by the way, is because Defender of Argus comes down, builds a stronger board.
Yep.
You're able to put out 3 taunts, and now all of a sudden,
much damage coming in.
turn 4, 14 health remaining.
Oh, the Lightning Storm gets drawn.
Lightning Storm, if he
2 3 health minions.
he needs a Spell Power Totem right now, man.
Spell Power or just roll 3s.
Yeah, but the Spell Power Totem would make him so much more comfortable. He's still got a chance if he doesn't get it.
No.
Oh, no
He's
Spell
gotta do
Power
it
Totem.
anyway.
Willie High Roll.
He gets 3 on the Flame Imp.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
So he does not kill both, but he gets the better roll on the more important one.
I would say so, yeah. It worked out about as well as it could have, you know, luck averages wise. Still, scary, scary board for Firebat.
And
He's got to put it down to 9.
He's going for
decides to
optimal
push
damage. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's because next turn, if he draws Doomguard, then he can play Voidwalker and the Doomguard instead of clogging his mana. So Firebat playing for this next draw.
Soulfire? Doomguard? No, Iron Beak Golem.
5 damage. He just needs a Soulfire, and this game Power Overwhelming will seal it. Firebat is going to the top 8 off the back of his Zoo deck, and we have ourselves our second player today who staved off elimination.
Wow, a close series went all the way down to the wire, and once again, our second series in the row too, where Zoo has had a huge impact on the outcome.
The 3rd version of Death Star, you'd think they'd make it immune to little ships, but
Zoo is
little
really the
monsters
little
of
ships
Zoo
of
just
Hearthstone,
running it over anyway.
That's
right.
so